Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Triffium and welcome back to another Misfits Racing League highlights video. We are in Le Castellet, France. It's the French Grand Prix, of course, round 10 action. And for this highlights video, we are going to be taking a look at the Tier 1 racers. We hope you enjoy the highlights we picked out.
Albanian on pole position with a 1 minute 27.362. Alex Bitto will line up alongside him in that Ferrari with a 27.4, and Zamis with what I do believe is his best qualifying of the season so far in third with a 27.7.
A lot of really impressive drivers on this grid right now. I'm super excited for this one. It's going to be all of these drivers getting to the grid now. Shenjay and Brainstew, that final row. The lights are coming on here. The engines are revving, and man, is it looking good here for a race around Le Castellet. It's the French Grand Prix. It's Paul Ricard. The engines, once again, full throttle for all of these guys, getting those revs high. The McLaren is away. We are racing here in France, and it's going to be a fantastic start.
What an absolutely killer start from Alex Bitto. They're side by side with Yoda heading into turns 1 and 2. They're still side by side. Yoda struggling to get the traction that he needs off the start. There's been a little bit of an incident behind. That's Jean and Rackety having a little bit of an exchange there as well. Brainstew making up quite a few positions, but for the top three, it's Alex Bitto ahead of Yoda, then Zamis holding position in the third place, Freeware in fourth, Swifty in fifth, Nigel and Becky B going side by side through turn 6. And let's see what they're able to. They're still side by side. They're Hyper having a beautiful angle at this, and Becky is through on Nigel into 6th for the time being, but Nigel with that slipstream is going to be looking for a move back, and Hyper is getting on this action as well. He's picking up the slipstream from Becky B, and he's side by side with Nigel heading into the chicane, but he's unable to make that move stick for now.
His position exchanges all over the place, jumping on with Brainstew. He's wheel to wheel with
Aphrodite.
Aphrodite.
Mercedes. Brainstew making up another position into turn 15. He's now past Aphrodite, so he's now back up into the points.
Yeah, but don't call it just yet. Aphrodite's having a look, Mick. He's coming back at him on the outside right now. We have a good shot of this right now coming down into turn 1, but it's going to be Brainstew holding well as we jump back to Nigel. He's looking at Swifty very tight. Swifty and Becky B. Oh, Becky B getting ahead of Swifty. Of course, Nigel now going to want to get in on this.
Yeah, and don't look now, but Freeware 5/10 to Zamis. He's looking for that podium.
Oh, and there's a big issue. Swifty's spun round, and Nigel's gone straight into him, and that's going to be a big issue coming outside of turn 7. Swifty's going to drop down this grid right now. He's going to try to recover, but Nigel has taken massive damage. He's dropping, and Brainstew on the inside of Van Putten down into 8-9 is going to get it done.
Wow. What a development we are seeing now in Paul Ricard. You can just see on that track map that all these guys are super tight. The front few are starting to get away a little bit, but that's Remco Van Putten looking around the outside of turn 10. Brainstew holding that inside line. He got that move done in the chicane, but is he able to hold it? He squeezes Remco Van Putten all the way to the outside, but Brainstew was able to hold onto that position as they made their way into turn 12.
And overtaking full swing here. I think we're going to see an overtake from Fubar on the McLaren coming down into 8-9. You see Rackety with a weave off there. How's it going to come for the racing point down through the turn? He's got the inside. Is Rackety going to get a good enough lunge through onto the inside? He is. Fubar going off a little wide there. Wheel to wheel right now.
Jean as well. Jean and Bitto's like catching up to them at a rate of knots. Fubar and Jean going side by side into turn 10. Jean getting ahead of the racing point now. So
ooh, and I had to interrupt this, but there's some action at the front of the grid. Macau Hyper's had an issue coming together with Brainstew. And Brainstew has now moved into third position behind his teammate as Becky B jumps into the pit lane. I believe that is Brainstew in lead of this race.
Heading into turn 8. Let's see what he's able to do. He cuts the curb a lot, but he's able to get ahead for the time being. But Fubar, can he get a better exit? He gets a pretty good traction out of turn 9. He's using that overtake. He's looking at the inside into turn 10. It's a drag race between these two. The racing point, German having his nose ahead of the Brit.
Yoda's here in this party, Macau, and they might not know it because it's going to be Yoda coming through 11. That's going to be Rackety on the outside. He pulls back. Now Fubar is completely hung out to dry in this battle right now. That's going to be the McLaren up the inside through 12, and he's going to take that racing point.
It's Freeware as well. Freeware using that overtake. He's looking at the inside of turn 14. Fubar has to leave the space. And he goes super far off track. Rackety's going to capitalize on that as well. He's looking to eye up Henry as well to get back into the points, but he's not able to quite make the move into the turn 8 and 9 chicane, but he's using that overtake to full effect. Henner's opting to save that. Zamis going down the inside into turn 10. Has he gotten the move done? Yes, he has. So he is now back up into the points and now has Rackety as the next target on his hit list.
Yeah, and it's not going to be long before he takes another check mark off that list, because Rackety on these 8-lap-old mediums right now, I don't know how long he's going to be able to defend here. Zamis is going for it on the inside into 14, Mikkel. That's not a place where you see it done every day, and he's going to get the move done, it would look like, but Rackety holding to the inside, and Zamis around the outside of 15. What a move.
Henry now going to the outside. Gives Rackety the inside again. They both use a fair bit of their battery. Rackety holding it around the inside. He's holding on to this position well. Can Henry, second time's the charm, trying to hold it around the outside. He's a little bit further ahead than he was last time. He's gotten the move done as well.
Yeah, Astrodate and Henry now, the two Haas drivers. Wheel to wheel coming out of turn 7. Astrodate.
You know what happens? You know what happens when the two Haas drivers get into combat? But Astrodite is cleanly ahead. Neon Rays now looking to get in on a piece of that pie. Battle brewing between Brain Stew and Zamis as well. 7/10's currently that gap. We have two Haas's and Neon Rays. And Hyper on Fubar, as you're saying. Hyper looking up the inside. Is he later on the brakes? Yes, he is, but not late enough. Fubar holding it around the outside through turn 8. But looks like Hyper will get the better exit through turn 9, and using that overtake, he's down to 3% battery strift. And Fubar using that overtake, and it's Jan as well on the outside, getting past Hyper into turn 10. He's looking at the inside of Fubar as well.
What a
Fubar
move.
has to leave in the space. Jan, it's not over yet. Strift Fubar running very, very wide. Hyper getting a little bit of wheel spin there as well. This is the battle for 15th, ladies and gentlemen. No points on offer, but bragging rights certainly are on the table for these drivers. Fubar holding it station now in 15th. Hyper trying to get his way back past that Alfa Romeo. Looking around the outside of the final corner, Rackety and Becky B, two drivers with a lot of pace, trying to get a piece of that pie as well. John and Hyper both have that DRS, but very, very low on the battery for both of them. This Fubar is going very, very slowly through that turn 1. Gian has to slam on the brakes. He loses the rear slightly. That's going to open the door for Hyper.
Wow.
Hyper makes his way through. Rackety trying to find a way down the inside as well. But a very, very nice defense once again. Let's see if Freeway has a response to it. He has that overtake mode on just a little bit. Yoda very, very low on that battery as well as they make their way into turn number 10. Freeway looking up the inside into turn 11. Yoda very, very late on the brakes. He's able to hold off that AlphaTauri for the time being. Brainster having a little bit of an issue on his hard combat tires. He's falling back a tiny bit, and that is Zamis as well, trying to make his way closer to them. And that's Rackety all the way down in 18th, having a little bit of issue at turn 7 as well.
Hyper's just been mugged for 2 positions. John and Becky B having a battle and just using that Ferrari for cover here. As they come out of turn 9, Macau, it's still a battle for these back positions. No points on display, but as you said, bragging rights, Becky B in the Mercedes right now, wheel to wheel with Hyper, coming down through on the inside through 10. Still wheel to wheel. That's Hyper on the rear of the Mercedes, though, coming through down into 11, and Becky B. What a move from him, but it was Jean that I think went out on that exchange. Hyper got dropped 2 positions coming out now. He's in 16th.
We're just outside of that DRS range. That could be crucial in his defense for second place. Brownie and Brainster. Brownie's gotten an amazing exit out of turn 7 strip. Look at this. He's soaring past Brainster. It doesn't matter that the Mercedes has DRS. That's the Williams soaring past that black Mercedes there. Brownie now back into the podium places once again. And he has a lot of battery. He has that overtake mode. He's going to get freeware as well. Just look at the speed coming out from that Williams. And he is all the way up into P2 now. And 8/10 is the gap to Yoda. And Yoda now certainly has his hands full now. He has another raging German, except this time he's on fresh medium compound tires. And it is the driver known as Brownie. Very, very fast indeed.
See the McLaren coming through. It's going to be turn 7 up next, and overtake's already in full swing for this Williams. He is having an absolute charge out of turn 7. DRS wide open. Very, very neatly done
from the Williams, and he is gone. He has gone into the lead of this race and has 65% battery left as well.
The Alpha Tower, ahead of him coming through turn 5 right now. And depending on what kind of run he gets coming out of turn 7, Mikhail, I think we're going to see the overtake happen into 8-9 here.
Yeah, he gets a pretty good exit. He has that overtake mode on. He has the DRS as well, the slipstream, just the overspeed from that Mercedes. He is now cleanly past the AlphaTauri. So Freeway now down into 4th place, Brainstew up into 3rd, and he will be down on power on this next straight. We saw Brainstew get some really nice exits out of turn 6 and 7. He's gotten another one, the DRS. The overtake is in full swing as well. Let's see if he is able to get enough overspeed. It looks like he is. Yoda now down into 3rd place after such a dominant performance at the beginning part of this race. He is now down into 3rd. Brainstew, all the way from 20th on the grid, is now in 2nd. He makes his way through the final corner now. It'll be Brownie, the German, in that Williams racing seat that come across the line to take the win here in France. Brainstew running out of fuel actually as he comes across the line. That's cost him P2. Yoda up into P2 now. Brainstew will take the 3rd place on the podium. Freeware coming across the line in 4th. Chenjay, his teammate, in 5th place, redeeming themselves after the horrible Canadian Grand Prix last week. Alex Bitto, the gamble not quite paying off for him. He's now in 6th place for the Scuderia. 7th place goes to BTFU in the Renault. Aphrodite in 8th. Zamis in 9th. And Neon Rays will come across the line in 10th place to take the final points place. Actually, he'll jump Zamis on penalties. So Zamis will get 10th. Neon Rays up into 9th for the racing point.